Welcome to Little Red Rooster TV, show number 14. Well, I'm kind of glad we got to show number 14. For some reason, I never do like the number 13, although we're in the 2013, and a lot of good things have happened this year, so maybe I should get over that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'd like to welcome you all. This is really turning out to be fun for me. I enjoy this a lot. I am trying to be as consistent as possible with it. But thank you for your comments, your kind words, and feedback. And we're going to talk about a few things this week, going back to some things that we have been talking about. But I'd like to start out today with the quote of the day. And it's by Albert Einstein. You'll probably hear a lot of quote of the days from me on Albert Einstein. But what he said one time in a conversation to a media person, that a storm broke out in his mind. He said, a storm broke out in my mind. And, you know, it just makes me think a lot of times how, like, you're going along in a perfectly innocent day and you come up with this new idea that just takes over all your passion, all your energy, and you can't stop until it happens. And I think that's sort of like the ride that we all want to take in life, is to get to that point where we're so excited about something that we just go. And a storm goes off in our mind, and we get that energy, and our mind thinks things through, and it's a tremendous computer that we have. So it's a real interesting concept. And thank you, Albert, for being such a great guy motivationally. And you know, I've listened to a good number of audiobooks about his life, and he definitely had a very interesting life and a lot of trials, and was misunderstood, but really loved by many people. So the last issue that we did in episode 13, I started to talk about copyright issues, you know, as far as like being able to do cover tunes, which is something I want to do. And we're going to talk about why that is in the next little idea that we're going to come to on the agenda. But basically, so here's my update. There's a guy named L.A. Jaffe, and he is a remarkable guy. At 22 in 2008, he was driving a garbage truck, and then this guy started taking regular cover tune karaoke tracks and playing lead guitar to them, and you'll have to try them. In fact, I would definitely recommend subscribing to him. But also in his information, he has a lot of discussion about how he's making money from monetization on YouTube videos from ads, which is what my friend Video Joe Knows had talked to me about. But then he's also talking about how to monetize or make money from recording other people's songs. So, legally. And he talks about getting the actual copyrights and, buying the right to do a certain limited number of CD sales or download sales or whatever. But because the world is changing, not that many people buy music anymore, you want to get your mechanical royalties off a planet. Anyway, I'm not an attorney, but he definitely has a lot of research done and has gone from that 22-year-old fella that was driving the garbage truck to having 12,000 plus subscribers on YouTube and millions of hits. So he's getting a little bit of income from the ad monetization and from what he loves to do, playing, which really makes me get to the next subject of how things have changed in music over, like for example, in my career, there was a point when I was really young where basically the only time I would ever see live music is either at a symphony, a school, a football game where they're doing that, or little country western bands. And that was, late 50s. And then all of a sudden, you'd see bands everywhere when the surf craze hit, and you'd start seeing instrumental people, playing Fender Jaguars and Fender amplifiers and stuff. And I'm going to talk about Leo Fender here in a little while. But it was a very interesting time. And so when I started, oh man, you could make money. The people that were selling records were making a lot of money, and it was one of the few really things that the kids in the baby boom generation really focused on. So the best brains that were in that time frame gravitated toward it because they could be artistic, have a storm in their mind, so to speak, and write songs like the Beatles did, or the Rolling Stones did, or the great bands, the Yeses and the Moody Blues and all of those bands. I mean, that was some pretty good music, and it's hard to beat it today. But then, as time went on, and the baby boomers grew up, this is just my little kind of thought, is that, people did a lot of partying in bars, and the drunk driving laws came along, and then the videos came out where you could go and rent videos, and you'd have a little bit more control over your entertainment time, and things basically changed, and technology changed, and it went from, first of all, recording directly to a disc, to having tape, and with Les Paul doing all of the, multi-tracking, and then all the recording that was done from that period of, I would say from the late 50s into the right into the 70s, that 20-year period of time, it evolved all the way from just single mono tracking, where people would have to be closer or further from the microphone in order to be louder or softer, to having so much control over the sound. And then when the digital era came in, and then when Napster came in and that type of thing, where you could just get music easily, the culture changed. The record companies had high prices, CDs came out not as great quality, MP3s came out, etc. And so music has become devalued over the years, in my opinion. And the same things happen in live music. There were times when I was talking to some guys in the band the other night. I was talking to the band. We were talking about the union scale money that was made, like in 1966, I think the union scale book that I have would show the amount per hour that a musician should earn at $37 per hour. So today, in today's world, a lot of people, the paradigm of live music is, if they are going to have live music, they don't even put the name of the band on the poster. Most of the time you'll just see live music. And then when it comes down to the budget for music, and there's a lot of talk about this going around now, swirling around, you can find this, that people will pay the caterer, they'll pay the DJ, they'll pay for sound systems, etc., but they want a band to come in and bring lights and a sound system and whatever it is that they have, and play generally for free. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's not an evil thing, let's put it this way. It's just the way the mental paradigm has, or people have wrapped their minds around live music. And the economy was bad for the past 8 years. So what I think is going to happen is going to be a revolution. I think people, the consumers, are going to want to hear bands that play at a good volume, it's not too loud, really makes you want to dance, and the voices sound good, and it's in balance, and all of that, in whatever genre. I mean, you could be playing that and rap, even in heavy metal. A good heavy metal band, I don't mean to say, is probably not that much louder than a good pop band if you balance it correctly. In any event, and that statement might get me a little heat, but bring it on. Anyway, so that's what I have to say about that. I also wanted to talk about some of the dates that our band has coming up, and basically, what happened with me over the last 10 years is I made a commitment to the Association of Realtors, and went through the chairs, became the secretary, treasurer, and the president, and that, and my time is over, and I've been with the Select Group Real Estate company now for about 3.5 years, and I believe I'm going to direct a little bit more of my energy back to finding a few really nice venues to play in with good stages and nice club owners, and bring you guys there if I can. And so what we have coming up this month, or on the 27th of December, right after Christmas, at the VFW, we're going to play there in Antelope. And the reason why I love it, it's got a good sound in that room, very nice people, easy to find, not far, central in Sacramento. It's got a great stage. So we're going to be there then, the last Friday in December, and we'll be there the last Friday in January, February, and March as well of every month. Also, the following week, on the 31st of January, we'll be there for New Year's. And the new band consisted of John C. Moore, Clark Calvert, Skip Cron, and myself. And we're having just a very, very nice time with that band. Then the very first January, Sunday in January, the band will be at Laughs Unlimited in Old Sacramento, right down there on Front Street. And that club is owned by I really like Skip Capuana. I've always liked him and his wife. They're great people, Lori. And we look forward to playing there, and that's the kind of venue I want to be able to say, hey guys, we're playing in a venue that you're going to like it when you get there. That place is just absolutely fantastic. So we would like to be playing down there once a month as well. There's some places that I like. I don't know if the guy from the Club Car will ever hear this, but I really like your venue up there. The Club Car in Auburn, the way that the stage is set up and stuff, I think would be perfect for us, and that's a place. So I would like to get a place in Sacramento, a couple of places in Sacramento, a place in Lincoln, maybe one in Rockland, and maybe one up in Auburn that we could play at over the course of time, so you could have some place to come and people could come and hear us for the one-nighter market. Because in the one-nighter market, I believe we can bring a lot of value to anybody's party because of the experience we have in playing those kind of gigs. Anyway, so what I'd like to ask you guys all to do, or some of you to do, because this will help us, and I'm only looking for people that want to do it, but please reach down there and hit the subscribe button. And you know, like if you think that what we're doing is interesting, share it with others. And thank you very much for watching this one. And if you never come back, thank you for coming this time. I wanted to wind up this little segment with a talk about a guy that I thought was just a great man that changed America forever, changed the world forever. Leo Fender, who didn't even play a musical instrument and really didn't even kind of study real guitar building or amplifier building or any of that type of thing. He actually owned a TV repair shop, and basically if you see you know how many bands have played Fender guitars and Fender amplifiers from this old tinkerer that I think lived into his mid-80s and then went on after he sold his company in 1965 to have 2 additional successful companies. What a role model. You know what, he must have had many different storms break loose in his mind. Anyway, this is Gene Thorpe, Little Red Rooster TV, and I'm going to sign out for episode number 14. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.